Well, I'd like to say that our first Titan need not have an introduction, but then I'd be out of a job, man. He's actually the executive director of the Institute for Innovation and Economic Development at CSU Monterey Bay. That is where he also teaches courses, and he heads up Startup Monterey Bay and is bringing to our area an incubator that we badly need for startups. Please put your hands together for Brad Barbeau.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Oh, wow. It's hard to see up here. Yeah. Thanks. This is a huge honor. I'm really excited to be up here because you got to understand that this is my sort of mecca, right? This is, so Doug Erickson is God for me, as he is for many of us. And how I've developed the things that we do is I just look at what Doug's doing and see if I can copy it, and I do these terrible little copies of them, but absolutely I've stolen everything from up here that I can. So I do this because I really love the process of building a company, and watching people build companies. It's an art, right? And it's a wonderful art. It's like any other art. You start with a blank sheet of paper or a piece of stone, and you see what you can make from it. And that process has fascinated me for decades now. It continues to fascinate me, and I will do it till the end of my life, which hopefully be a long time from now. So at CSUMB, I got tasked with developing an organization that had already been started, the Institute for Innovation and Economic Development. That's a long name for our Entrepreneurship Institute. And the job of the Institute is to do exactly what was just said as the job of Santa Cruz Works and the Santa Cruz New Tech, which is to create this vibrant, productive, exciting entrepreneurial ecosystem in the region, and we're obviously in Monterey. And it's been wonderful over the last couple of years that Doug and Toby and others from here have gotten involved in what we're doing. And boy, it has really raised the level of what we're doing down there. And we've got a series of events. We've got Startup Weekend coming up in 2 weeks, last weekend in January. So you're all invited, of course. Come and join us for Startup Weekend. We've got a great space for it. The big ballroom at CSUMB, it's a fabulous space because it's this huge open space, and all the teams get to work inside that same space, and it creates a really great energy. And we've got, after that, there's the Startup Challenge, which many of you, Chris has been in, and many of you have been in. Startup Challenge has become our big dog. Eclipsed, maybe getting eclipsed here by the Startup Investment and Community Capital Expo that we run in late September. And then actually the whole thing starts with a hackathon, which is in November. That was already a couple months ago. And we call that, we've talked about the annual cycle of innovation. Now, nobody ever goes through it just like that, but it makes a great container. And that's what I see as my job, our job, is to create these containers within which all this creativity can happen, and all this art can happen, and all these new businesses can emerge. And we run the second largest tech meetup in the region. The second largest tech meetup in the region. That's like saying Caribou Coffee is second only to Starbucks, right? There's Starbucks and there's Caribou Coffee. There's the Santa Cruz New Tech Meetup, and then there's us, and then there isn't anybody else. So that's how we got to the second. But we're running about 40 to 50 people at that tech meetup. And now we're adding the Launchpad Incubator. So we'll have a full set of programming there. And the incubator is still open for applications. Love to have you have your companies apply. Talk to me afterwards if you're interested. And all of that is about, I think that the big theme that I've really been getting more and more harping on over the last couple of years is community. Because for a long time, I've held that entrepreneurship is a team sport. You know, the sort of hero version of entrepreneurship, I think, is a terrible, terrible model. It really is a team sport, but it's also a community project. And it only works, and tech ecosystems only work if people are connecting and engaged in those. So the community, the active community, and that's what I see up here, this unbelievable active community. And I'm trying the hardest I can to create the same thing there and then connect the two. Doug keeps saying to me, Ron, you gotta get us connected. Yes, and he's been really helpful in that. And that connection is really important to powering all of them. So I love this work. I love Santa Cruz. I just love everybody loves Santa Cruz. What's not to like about Santa Cruz? Come visit us in Monterey. It's pretty cool down there too. And thank you to all of you who have participated and been a part of what we're doing, and we're being a part of what you're doing. Thank you all very much, and thank you also for this honor. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you so much.